Hey everyone, Liam here with a brand new video of TRA weather. Let's start off with today's top weather news and headlines. I'm forecasting a multi-day severe weather outbreak once again for the south and southeastern United States. That starts this evening for some and extends into the late week. I'll forecast the exact timing, location, and who will see the worst of the severe weather yet to come. I'll also have the 3-day national temperature forecast along with the 6 to 10 day climate prediction center outlook. All of this is coming up right here on TRA Weather. Okay, today is Monday, April 4th, 2022. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend and are currently enjoying your Monday. Here's a look at the National Weather Service hazards map. It's extremely quiet across most of the central and all of the eastern United States, but a lot of wind warnings, watches, and advisories across the far northwest, along with some winter weather hazards for some mountain snow. And still across much of the same areas we saw last week, red flag warnings continue to be issued for windy conditions and low relative humidity across portions of the central United States. And once again, as I said in my previous video, if you are currently under those red flag warnings and are dealing with flammable materials, please use extra caution as wildfires under these conditions can spread very rapidly. Now before we get into the multi-day severe weather threat, here's your 3-day high and low temperature forecast for the entire United States, starting with today's high temperatures. Relatively seasonal temperatures with slightly below average temps across the far northwest and northeast. Lows tonight generally in the low 50s and 40s with some 30s and 20s in the far northwest and northeastern portions of the United States. Tomorrow's high temperatures show a decent increase in temps across the south central and southwest with readings in the upper 80s and 90s. Tomorrow night's low temperatures show a broader area of colder air over much of the west and upper plains. Now over to Wednesday's high temperature. Now there was some bad data from the National Weather Service temperature map, so this right here is from the GFS model. Mostly the same from Tuesday's high temperature, except a cold front will bring down some of those temperature readings across most of the eastern half of the United States. Now that completes your 3-day national temperature forecast, but what averages can you expect further down the line? Here's the 6 to 10 day climate prediction center temperature outlook. There is a high confidence that the northwest and southeast will see below average temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days, while much of the central and northeastern United States is likely to see more warmer spring-like temperatures. Alright, now over to the Future Radar Plus forecasted visual satellite across the eastern United States, starting off tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Have some light rain showers across Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, with some of those thunderstorms developing across Texas that will further develop as the night goes on. Strong winds, hail, and tornadoes are all possible. Moving now into the middle of the night / early morning hours into Tuesday, those storms should be moving into Arkansas and Louisiana and still lingering in Texas. Now I think the severe potential with this cluster of storms will mostly stay further to the south part of the system, but places into northern Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia could still see an isolated tornado. But I think the potential for flash flooding, especially into northern Alabama and Georgia, is going to be of the most concern, as hours of very heavy rainfall are possible. Throughout the day on Tuesday, now into Tuesday evening, some moderate to heavy rainfall is now moving into parts of the western Carolinas, but the severe threat again mainly stays further to the south, where a little more energy and shear is available. I'll show all of that here in just a moment. Late now into Tuesday night, most of the severe weather has diminished, and the bulk of the rainfall has now moved into the mid-Atlantic as just some moderate rain. But into Wednesday, we are going to have a cold front that I was talking about to start to move through and actually bring in some pretty decent snowfall across the far north into the Dakotas and Minnesota. I'll have those snowfall totals here in just a little bit. But we are going to have a lot of available energy across the southeast, and with some moisture and that cold front, it could get interesting. Here's a few snapshots of some Cape values during the duration of these storms with a future radar overlaid. You can see the Cape values generally around 500 to 1,500 is available for both Monday night and into Tuesday. Now anything over 500 to 1,500 Cape is enough, but it's definitely not a lot. But going back to Wednesday, the available energy is going to be way higher with values knocking on the door of 4,000 across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. With moisture and wind shear in place, in addition to this, going to have to watch this very closely across the southeastern United States. Now over to the Storm Prediction Center categorical outlook for the rest of today. A level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk has been issued for parts of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. That covers over 10 million people. The slight risk covers over 4 million people, and the marginal risk covers a very large 22.4 million people. Now from the Storm Prediction Center on today's outlook, there's enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms from parts of North Texas across northern Louisiana into southwestern Mississippi. The summary is the greatest concentration of severe thunderstorms should start in parts of North Texas this afternoon and evening, shifting eastward toward the lower Mississippi Valley overnight. Severe wind gusts, possibly over 74 miles per hour, large to very large hail, and tornadoes are all possible. Now, thankfully, the torcons tonight aren't as impressive, but a small area shaded in yellow that covers around 1 million people is under a torcon of 5, while the rest of you are under a torcon of 4 or lower. But even though the chances aren't very high, it is a rather large area that does have at least a torcon of 3. Now over to day 2's categorical outlook. Once again, a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather has been issued for a large part of the southeast. But again, like I said, the majority of the hail and tornado threat will stay further to the south, while mainly anything north of the enhanced risk will be dealing with the possibility of flash flooding along with a few isolated tornadoes. From the Storm Prediction Center on day 2's categorical outlook, there is once again an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms from the southern Mississippi vicinity, east, north, eastward to the Georgia/South Carolina coast. The summary is a broad area of severe thunderstorm potential will exist across portions of the southern and southeastern United States on Tuesday, especially from the central Gulf Coast vicinity into central/southern Georgia and southern South Carolina. A swath of damaging wind gusts and several tornadoes are all possible. A larger area with torcons of 5 that covers over 5 million people, shaded in yellow, mainly over South Alabama and Georgia. 12.3 million people are under a torcon of 4, and 19.5 million people are under a torcon of 3. Major cities under torcons include Montgomery, Alabama, under a 5, Atlanta, Georgia, under a 4, and Jacksonville, Florida, under a 3. And just like the previous 2 outlooks, for day 3 on Wednesday, yet another enhanced risk for severe weather has been issued across parts of central and northern Alabama, Georgia, and some parts of the Carolinas and Tennessee that covers over 10 million people. And I'm expecting that enhanced risk to move further south and possibly be upgraded to a moderate risk, a level 4 out of 5 risk for severe thunderstorms within the next 24 to 36 hours from now. A quick summary from the Storm Prediction Center. There's an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms across portions of central/northern Alabama, northern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, far western North Carolina, and southeastern Tennessee. The summary is severe thunderstorms capable of producing swaths of damaging gusts and tornadoes are expected across a broad area from the deep south into the southern Appalachians on Wednesday. The greatest risk area will encompass portions of central/northern Alabama into southeastern Tennessee, far western North Carolina/South Carolina, and northern Georgia. And these storms on Wednesday could continue into portions of the mid-Atlantic into Thursday with a 15% slight chance risk issued. Now finally to the rainfall and snowfall amounts. Now through Wednesday from the GFS model, you can see why flash flooding will be of a concern, with areas across the southeast getting anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, with maybe even some isolated higher amounts. And all of this rainfall could come down within just a few hours. If you have some travel plans on Tuesday or Wednesday across the southeast, might want to rethink about that and reschedule them. Now over to the snowfall amounts. The higher snowfall totals will generally stay across North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, where a foot to maybe even over 1.5 feet of snow is possible, but I think this model is being a little bit on the aggressive side, and probably only a little over 1 foot of snow can be expected on the higher end. And portions of the Ohio Valley could see a little taste of the end of winter from this system as well. And again, I think this model is being a little aggressive on these snowfall totals, but 1 inch to 1.5 inches is possible with some higher amounts across the Appalachian chain. And that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for all the latest weather news and information. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below to my social medias. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.